Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. This is Chase Reeser.
Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I can't complain.
We just worked on a song for songwriting class.
Seahorse the lady. Oh shit. Sadie the seahorse.
That's okay.
And
yes, you can't say expletives.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Chase, what do you do?
I'm a realtor, but then I also am a singer. And so I kind of do like both part-time. I'm looking to get more into doing singing all the time and doing that kind of. And I just live my life and chill, you know what I mean?
Out of like the many things that you like take part in, like what is it that you like consider yourself like, this is who I am, like?
Definitely, like, performing.
Yeah.
Like, I am a performer.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel useless unless I'm on stage. And I just feel like there are some people who were made to, like, bring other people happiness and do the things that other people wouldn't do, you know, to kind of, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to be that person that's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So crazy. I could never do that. Or, you know, like, he looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
And then you have fun. So I just feel like bringing other people that, like, joy and happiness and, like, fun.
Yeah, and like I told you, I think last week, that I've seen you perform, and, like, you definitely bring a whole lot of awesome energy to the stage.
Thank
you know, it lets me enjoy the performance much more so than just the music, but, like, it's actually also a performance.
Right.
And especially with, like, awkward ACM students who are like,
totally,
I don't know what to do.
Standing
I make music, but I don't know how to like be on stage. And so you bring forth the performance aspect of what makes it fun to be at ACM.
Yeah, yeah, and it is so fun, you know. And I like being a performance major is so much more than I think just like learning how to play and sing. You know, it's doing it in front of people too. Obviously, the studio aspect is important, but
yeah,
you know.
And I mean, would you rather be like a session singer, or would you rather like be, you know, backup singer?
I hate like singing in studio, like having that like microscope like on your voice, you know what I mean, and how everything sounds. Like I'm much more live performance in that, because like even if it doesn't sound so right, like I can at least get the feeling across. Yeah, and it's like, okay, you know, and it's like a little more forgivable than just being like, you know. And it makes me so crazy because I'm a very huge perfectionist, and so when I'm like listening to it back, I'm like, I hate that. None of this sounds good. Like, just scrap it all, you know. Yeah. So like, probably I want to do more like backup singing kind of type. Like as a, you know.
Would you want to be like your own like performer?
Totally.
Would you ever have like a stage name, or would you still just go by?
Well, since like Chaser the Prince or Chaser the Prince is like my Twitter handle and my Instagram and my website, so it's kind of just like the brand I kind of like established a few years ago in college, and so a lot of people that kind of know me by that. So I feel like that would be more fun, or just like Chase, but like Chase Reeser sounds so. To me, it just sounds so like.
I mean, it's a name.
Right. Exactly. Like, it's like run-of-the-mill, and I feel like, I don't know, not run-of-the-mill, but you know what I mean? I just feel like it'd be more fun to be like Chaser the Prince and like have this kind of identity and like a brand already, and then Chase Reeser can just like, you know, run to Starbucks and like be kind of normal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a performance outside of, you know, just who you are.
Right.
Which, I mean, would you rather have that like separation between like, oh, this is just who I am whenever I'm like in pajamas, and then there's like my like stage person, Chaser the Prince?
I feel like I'm kind of the same always, you know what I mean? Like, Chase, Reeser, and I mean just like regular Chase and like Chaser the Prince like don't have that much difference, you know? I feel like it's just kind of like maybe easier for someone to have like a I don't know, hop on board with an identity more than just
sure.
Chase Reeser from it, you know. I feel like Chase Reeser like was in high school and like was like president of whatever, and like, you know, like
was Chase Reeser president of whatever?
Yes. The club called whatever. No, it was like president of, you know, like Key Club and like French Club, you know. Yeah. So it was like just teen boards and stuff like that, which I liked a lot, you know, but it was like, I want to do something different now. I'm much more like pop culture now than like I used to be, I think.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know.
I guess to like kind of go on this train of thought, that what sort of separates the whole like public perception of who you are versus who you actually are? Like what amount of that like affects you?
Like really, so most people think that I'm either like really mean, like really bitchy, super judgy, like a big diva and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people think, and that's kind of like the persona that I take on, like on my Twitter. And I mean, you read it, and it kind of makes me seem like I'm a little bit of a diva, a little bit of a mess, a little bit of, you know, whatever. And I don't really mind that. Like I like to kind of have that persona, and then be like the person that's like gonna get in and do it. And like when I work hard, like I work hard, and when I, you know, and like I may be a little like sketchy and busy and have a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And then like once I kind of, you know, hone in, then I'm really into it, and I work really hard. And like I'll be there on time, and you know, stuff like that. And I don't think that comes across in my public image or like in the public perception, you know what I mean? And then I'm like super mean and judgy, and I'm really not. Like I really love people who like do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I have so much respect for people who do other things and have other opinions, because I feel like it's so cool, and like I want to have my opinions and stuff like respected in the same way that I like respect theirs. So I'm really not judgy. I'm critical. I am very critical. Like I feel like I worked really hard, and I've, you know, been vetted. I'm like a good performer. I've won stuff, and I, you know, so I feel like I have a reason to kind of come at everything with a very critical eye, because I'm good at it, you know? But I don't want people to think I'm like super judgy and mean, you know? Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of nice to have that thought and then like surprise people with how nice I am.
Sure.
Which, not I'm saying that I'm super nice, but I try to be like a super considerate and nice person in general. And
I mean, what is it that you, like, maybe that you've done that you're like, oh man, maybe people will think that I'm like bitchy or something? I feel like, it's maybe just like an aura about me. I don't know. Like, did you think, like, before you met me, did you think I was, or like, you know, before you knew me or whatever? Yeah. Like, did you think I was kind of bitchy? No, I think you're just like a big personality. Okay, yeah. Maybe that's more of it. Yeah, and so, I mean, for introverted people, I think that maybe it would be hard, like, to approach you just because you're just so, like, bubbly and, like, loud or whatever. Yeah. So maybe it makes it difficult for people to understand you because, you know, you might be scary to approach. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. But other than that, I don't think I've never perceived you as being, like, mean and bitchy. You're good. Random interruptions. Yeah. But I mean, has anyone called you a diva or called you? Yeah, like, and a lot of people, like, even before, like, my bandmates or whatever, like, when they first get put into a band with me or they see my name on a sheet, they're like, oh my god, he's going to be such a diva. And I really just am not, you know, like, I go home, I learn all the songs, I come prepared, and I'm just, you know, and I try to, like, just work. But I think that, like, being such a big personality on stage and stuff like that, and, like, having that kind of attitude, I feel like people just kind of automatically assume that I'm going to be, like, super needy or, like, you know. I mean, but at maybe least I'm just really harsh on myself. And that's okay, too, because, you know, it just means you're working hard. You're, and that's something that's really essential to sort of work in this industry. Right. That you can't just show up and be like, I'll figure it out, because you get kicked out of the room immediately. Yeah, exactly. And so I try, you know, to, like, back up all of this, you know, with, like, a lot of hard work and just, like, you know, I want to be reliable in that person that's like, I mean, he may kind of, like, come off as crazy or whatever, but really, like, he's always there when you need him and stuff. Yeah, but, like, what you said about showing up and, like, learning all the songs and being ready is that, you know, for whatever reason, I think, like, you know, if you're a backup dancer for Beyonce or something, and you show up not knowing like the choreography, like
you're done.
Yeah,
like, get off the stage.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Beyonce doesn't have time for your bullshit.
Oh no,
she doesn't have time for your like, oh well, you know, it was a long night last night, and so I can like, no, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you're a backup dancer for Beyonce. Like, get it together. So that's kind of also how, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I would want, not like a career similar to hers, I feel like, would just be so cool. Obviously, it's like 1 in a million chance, and she's performing in front of arenas, and it's like a whole thing. And I feel like males in general maybe don't have the same kind of support and like the same kind of huge, massive fan bases.
Sure.
That females can kind of just easily get.
It might be something sort of like because of what they're sort of allowed to pull off. Yeah. Like Beyonce or someone like Lady Gaga like is able to pull off this just like giant just thing that you know, someone like, I can't even really think of any like male acts recently that do something like that isn't like David Bowie or Prince or something, you know.
So hopefully, and even that vacuum can be filled. Chase of the Prince.
and I feel like that sort of had to come out of like a disregard for like, oh, that's not manly. Like, David Bowie didn't give a damn if it was manly or not. Like, Prince didn't give a damn.
Totally. Wearing heels and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like, and that's cool. Like, I really, like, respect that. And I feel like I don't know, like, it's just cooler to have, like, no boundaries. You know what I mean? When you have, like, in performances and stuff, to, like, think, like, it doesn't matter, you know, like, oh, I could wear that, like,
yeah, exactly.
No problem, you know, I can sing that, no problem, I can do that, like, so, like, put huge makeup all over my face,
exactly.
do whatever I want to do, you know, and make it fun, so.
And, I mean, in one regard, it shows that you're taking it seriously, that you're like, this is something that I really enjoy, and I want to, like, show it, you know? So, I mean, again, I just appreciate that in you as a performer.
Yeah, thank you.
What sort of drove you to have that level of performance?
You know, I think it was, like in high school, I was a very, like, suit performer. Like, I would wear a suit, you know what I mean? And it would be like a kind of a Michael Bublé, like, kind of crooning kind of situation most of the time. Yeah. And then when I came to college and I started working on our spring sings and we were dressing up in, like, crazy costumes, and then my best friend at the time, Meiji, was, like, just very creative and had, like, no limits on, like, you know, makeup and, like, whatever, and like, googly eyes on my face and, like, jewels and stuff like that. And so we started kind of integrating that into our daily lives, like when we were going out to bars and stuff like that. Sure. And so that it became more fun, and I felt like I could bring this to stage, you know, really easily, and kind of have, like, a very similar, you know, obviously on stage it's easier to have crazy makeup than just to be like going into, like, you know, a Red Lobster and, like, eating dinner and just, you know, but I had so much more fun doing that. And then I also, like, I feel like it's almost like, not that there's anything wrong with going up on stage in jeans and a t-shirt and just, like, you know, your regular wear, but I just feel like you're there for a reason, you know, for the audience to look at you, you know, even if you're the drummer and you're in the back, like, I feel like, you know, why not? Yeah. Like, just have fun and show that you're having fun in everything, you know, in every single aspect, from your hair to your, you know, whatever. And obviously there's times where it's, like, not going to work out and you don't have time to do it or whatever, but I just feel like it's a you're performing, like, you're getting up there and doing it, you might as well have, like, the wardrobe to back it up. Plus, I love the thrift store, and so I, like, go every Monday on 99 cent day at Elite Thrift, and I just scour the women's aisle, the men's aisle, everything I can find, just for cool stuff to wear for performances. So that's really fun, too, to do. And I feel like that had a lot to do with why I do it, you know?
What musicians, artists are sort of your biggest influences in that?
truthfully, I didn't know very much about David Bowie until he passed away. Like, I was
Yeah.
just, my parents weren't really huge fans of his, and so I
Mhm.
never really got to, like, listen to it from that. But, and then once I started, like, you know, doing some research and just, like, seeing, and same with Prince, really, I was like, holy shit, you know, that is
Yeah.
what I want to do, you know,
Mhm.
like, just command a whole, you know, area with the craziest performances,
Yeah.
you know, and, like, wearing so much, you know, and then having the talent to back it all up, you know,
Yeah.
at the end, too. So, and obviously, you know, I have a lot to work on to get to that level, but I feel like they really influenced kind of where I want to go.
Mhm.
And honestly, like, really, like, Amy Winehouse and Adele, even though they kind of just, they always, in their performances, were more
Mhm.
stoic, you
Mhm.
know? I feel like just the way they deliver and the way they connected
Yeah.
really inspired me, because that was just like, how
Mhm.
can you, you know, connect to each individual person in
Yeah.
this 18,000 person arena or whatever, you know, and have that authentic, like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what I strive to kind of create, and then I feel like the rest of it just kind of comes from wanting to have fun and, like, being on stage.
Yeah.
Like, seeing, like, Beyonce or, you know, Lady Gaga, like you said, or, like, Rihanna, like,
Yeah.
holy shit, you know what I mean? And just, like, making it kind of a spectacle for people to watch.
Yeah.
Is fun.
I mean, I feel like something that it might be consistent between these artists that you mentioned is that, like, they all seem to have, like, a vision for what they want, like, their performance to be.
Right.
That, you know, like, someday David Bowie, like, sat down and was like, space. This is the thing.
Yeah, totally.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean, I also don't know that much about, like, Bowie or Prince or anything, but, like, to sort of have that vision for, like, this is what it's gonna be, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and yeah, there is sort of a level of having to kind of shut people down that are kind of like, well, what about, like, no, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
That, yeah, might come off as, like, diva-esque.
Right. Very Kanye, you know, you want it to be like all. Oh, and Kanye too, because
Yeah.
this is important too, because I think about, like, Kanye's performance. Like, he's not maybe the strongest performer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really enjoy
Yeah.
to watch his shows live for his rapping. It's more like the lights. Like, his latest, for his St. Pablo tour, he's, like, getting on a stage that, like, is elevated and goes over the whole crowd, you know? And it's just, it's
Yeah.
stuff like that that's like, yeah, you know, standing there rapping isn't the most fun thing, so let's find other ways, like big stage production, big lights, cool, you know, moving things. And I feel like that's really inspiring too, because you think about, like, this isn't that, you know, like,
Yeah.
I could do something to pep it up, but right now it's kind of boring, so what if we have, like, these crazy, you know, lights, or this is when I get picked up, and this is when we move across the, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, enhancing it.
There seems to be, like a level of insanity
Yeah.
to being sort of that level of performer that, I mean, Kanye's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no denying that.
Totally.
He's some form of narcissistic egomaniac that
Totally.
is just...
But it works for him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can't have, like, the art that Kanye makes without the douchebag
Totally.
that he is.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's all him, you know what I mean? Like, it's his decision, and, you know, in every aspect of it.
Mhm.
And for him, I mean, like, I have respect for him because, like, for his fashion line, like, before he started it, he learned how to sew. He learned how to make clothes so that he could, like, you know, and most people that have fashion lines, stars, don't know how to sew. They
Yeah.
sell their names, basically, to these fashion designers so that they can have these lines.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is just, like, really dope. And, like, if you're going to do it, I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, do it. So I feel like that's really cool. I don't know if I could learn how to sew.
It's not
I
that
feel
hard.
like my sewing
I know
would be
how to
really
sew.
low. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Well, I cosplay and stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's- yeah, I'm a giant
Make your
nerd.
own stuff.
Uh,
Hey, whatever works for everybody, you know what I mean?
But do you think that level of, you know, visionary can exist without being crazy? Like, would you be able to get to the level of Beyonce without being that crazy?
You know? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yes and no. I feel like with a lot of work and knowing the right people, but then everyone thought she was crazy when she released Beyonce the first time in 2013, and she just like dropped it on iTunes, and no one knew she was working on an album even, you know? It was a whole like 18 track visual album, like it was crazy. And people were like, what? She's not going to make any money. Like, she's going to fail. You know, like, this is a very dumb decision. There was no press about it. But then, you know, it's Beyonce, so it worked out really, really exceedingly well. So I feel like you kind of have to have that, like, I'm going to do what some people are going to think is crazy. You know, even if it's not necessarily crazy to you. Or, like, what you think. Like, I'm not crazy for doing this. I'm just being myself. I'm doing what I want. And I feel like people will label you as all kinds of shit. But when it works out, it works out, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, I do remember specifically in one class you saying, like, I want to be Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And so, you know, are you going to have to sacrifice your sanity to get to that point?
You know, probably a little bit. Like, for sure. But, you know, it's just kind of, I can't imagine another life. Really, like, not that like I know what her life is like so much, but like I just can't imagine like doing anything else every single day for me would not get me so much fulfillment and joy, and feel like I am here for a reason and I'm doing what I need to be doing, you know? I just feel like there's no other really option than some kind of performance. And maybe that means like behind the scenes and making sure everything like looks good for another star, or like, you know, kind of collaborating with their kind of show. But I feel like it really has to be some kind of just entertainment in some way. Because I love just making people happy with something that they don't even really, you know, I mean, it's not helping them in any way to go to a concert, really, except mentally, really, at the end of the day. You know, I mean, they're not like getting paid for it. They spend money to come see you, you know, so I feel like you need to give them that feeling tenfold and have them being like, oh my God, the most amazing.
The other day, I asked you like what your like dream job would be, and you like mentioned like talk show. What would that be like?
I feel like it would be a very chill situation, you know, like the talk show in general. Like, I would love to have one where we just kind of, like, something similar to what Chelsea Handler has now on Netflix, where she just kind of, like, moves people. She has, like, a studio, and she has guests come in, you know, and it's a studio audience, very similar to, you know, normal talk shows. But then she has, like, dinner with her guests at her house, you know, and they film that, and they just talk about whatever, and it's more of just a chill setting, kind of what Cocktails with Khloe was, with Khloe Kardashian. She had a show for a while on, I can't remember what network right now, but it was the studio was basically like a house setup, and you just moved from like drinks in the living room to like food in the kitchen, and then back to the living room for like after dinner drinks, and it was just kind of like a flow, easy, very, you know, fun conversation. So I feel like that would be part of it, and then going out and like, you know, doing weird like reporting on, I don't know, like doing fun journalistic style stories within the talk show, and like getting to tell some random person's stories that you would never really think about. But, like, there's validity in it, and it's kind of interesting to see. Even, I mean, like, how, like, garbage people, do you know your garbage person? Like, what's their backstory, you know? I mean, something so simple as that. I feel like it's so interesting just to get to know, like, the people around you. I don't know. And so it would kind of be all of that mixed together.
And you, again, what was your, do you have that degree, or?
Yeah. So my degree is in professional media, which is like broadcast journalism.
And so how does that influence, like, you know, how you think as a performer?
Ooh. That is good. I feel like a lot of it comes with, like, brevity, you know? Like, being able to say what you mean kind of quickly. Like, journalism, you don't really have so many space. You have, like, 350 to, like, 800 words, you know, that you're trying to tell a whole story in. So you kind of have to figure out how to get it all in. So, like, if I'm on stage, I'm trying to communicate with the audience, I'm not going to have this long, drug-out thing where they're maybe not going to understand what I'm saying because the sound isn't that good. Like, I want to kind of be direct and, like, really quick. Like, how y'all doing tonight? You doing well? Yeah, woohoo! You know, and, like, just get everything across really quickly. And visuals, how it looks. Like, I'm not really the best at setting up shots, but I know when a shot looks good and when a shot looks bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so thinking about how it's going to look from the audience, like how they are going to see it, I feel like comes in a lot of it. And then what I'm looking to get into more is having like kind of like a video blog or like, you know, and have these like performances of video performances of me online or whatever. And so setting up those, I feel like my degree will come in handy with a lot of that. So, yeah.
Because, I mean, it is good to have like a separate, versatile like thing to sort of have as a backup plan or whatever.
Totally.
But like, you know, you can still grab stuff from that tool belt.
Totally, absolutely. And like, even if, you know, performance really doesn't work out in the same way like being Beyonce, like I'm still performing every time I'm getting on that talk show or on that whatever. And so I feel like that will be still fulfilling in that way. You know what I mean? I'm still like performing and I'm still bringing that. It's just in a different arena.
Yeah. What's the road from here to there?
Well, so I have until May here at ACM. And so I'll finish that out and glean as much knowledge and hopefully like connections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I am like working to get some videos out and kind of like start that like where you can go to my website and kind of just like see what I'm up to and like, you know, have like a similar like fledgling vibe of like a talk show, you know, like a little, it's coming, you know, or like of me performing and stuff. And then moving to either like LA or Nashville or somewhere like that and just kind of getting started and probably more like lean on the journalism side. So I kind of have like an idea of a job or like a job could be there possibly. Yeah. More than just, you know, trying to like pass out my mixtape to everyone and maybe establish myself there and then kind of work everything else into it. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a long road, I feel like, for sure. But I mean, like, I need to start dance lessons. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to become a little bit better at dancing, so I'm looking into those. And just, like, there's going to be a lot of different aspects that I have to work on, but I have this whole year to kind of, like, do that. So
yeah. And, I mean, because I'm also planning to eventually move to, like, LA area or wherever the heck a job is. But I think that making that leap of just, like, location is one of the best ways to sort of like force yourself to start. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, do you think that you're ready to make the leap, or is it just like you'll just make the leap and figure it out?
I think it's kind of part of both. Like, I'm really trying to do it in a smart way. So, like, in a couple weeks, I'm going to LA for the first time to kind of like, I'm like renting a car so I can drive all over and kind of figure out, like, maybe get an idea of a neighborhood. I have a few friends who live like in West Hollywood and a few friends who live kind of out in the suburbs, and so kind of figure out where I want to be, you know, and like where it would be feasible to kind of set up a life. And then my plan is to at least go a few more times to wherever, because I just went to Nashville a couple weeks ago, so to scout it out. So you know, I don't know if I'll be going back to Nashville that many times because I really feel like LA is where I end up. I'm not that country, but so hopefully that gets me ready. But I feel like it's one of those things that I don't know if I will be ready. It's just kind of like I got to do it, and that will be the best motivator, because I won't have anything to do. You know, I'll basically be like out there jobless probably for a little while, and. So it'll get me up in the morning and be like, okay, well, I only have this much money in my bank account, and then I'm done. So I need to go, you know, figure out how I can make some. So,
and I mean, it's pretty cutthroat, like, just because, you know, it's not like we're the only ones that are gonna try to jump to LA and be like, hey, I'm gonna try to get a job
everyone who goes there is, you know, looking for something similar. So you have a lot of competition for sure, which I'm used to. Plus, competition makes you way better, you know. And
hence the point of capitalism in general.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I feel like you kind of maybe get a little bit more of like the truth, you know, like, is it really going to work? Because here I feel like maybe I would be coddled a little bit, and like people who knew me would already be like, oh yeah, you're really good, you don't need to like improve on anything. I'm like, well, I know I need to improve on these areas, you know, and no one's really telling me that, and so being there and just being chewed up and spit out would be really good, because it would force me to look at what I'm doing and figure out how I could be better in all the areas that you know, caused me to.
So what do you think would separate you from, you know, the other 1,000 people that are trying to be Beyonce?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it is just like my no holds bar like approach to performance, maybe, that I'm just like, I don't care. Like, really what I would see as a competitor to me is like Troye Sivan. He's like a new artist, and he's like young, and he does like fun stuff. He like dip dyes his hands, and, you know, like wears cool things on his performances, has cool lights and everything, but is kind of a little bit more boring. So I feel like in that, you know, I could bring a little bit more excitement than him. But I feel like in general, it would just be like, I just really don't care, you know, if I'm going to wear like a dress on stage, like I'll wear a dress on stage, you know, I want to do that. So I feel like maybe that would be like, oh wow, you know, something different than what we're seeing. Like, even if I was like in a restaurant, you know, just playing in the corner, I feel like I would still kind of bring a lot of those elements out, but I feel like maybe a lot of other people wouldn't go to that length, maybe because it's not the right situation for them. But I feel like it would only build interest, you know? I feel like we had someone talk about, I think it was Alice in Chains, or one of the guys from Alice in Chains was here last year and talked about how their band in the very beginning, like, they always did something weird. Like, they found this huge box of plastic spoons backstage, and they just, like, attached them to their whole bodies and then went out and performed with them on. And I just think that's so fun. And they kind of got this reputation because they were doing fun stuff like that, you know? So I feel like that maybe would be where my strength comes in.
I believe in you.
I need it.
So then, what is it about your view of the world, or like, I mean, first of all, what do you believe?
I believe in kind of like what you were saying the other day. Like, I believe in love. You know what I mean? Like, I love love. I do. I'm Catholic, so you know, I am a very like Pope Francis Catholic, though. Like, taking it back to the, you know, to the basics, because really, when you get to it, like, if you're a good person, you know, that's all the world really needs. You know, it's like, so you lied a couple times, you know, you don't need to like punish yourself for the rest of your life.
Sure.
You know, I mean, the guilt factor of it is a lot that I feel like doesn't really need to be there anymore.
Sure.
You know, I feel like it had its time, but it's just pointless. You know, at the end of the day, like, love is it, and you know, when people mess up. Like, love them anyway. Like, love them harder. You know what I mean? Like, you do whatever you want to do. Do better than the day before. That kind of thing. I love Mary. She's like my homegirl. I'm always saying a few Hail Marys. For in general, you know, just I think it's nice to have someone up there that, you know.
I mean,
that kind of like intercedes for you.
I was raised Catholic. Why Mary?
I don't know if it's just a thing where I connect with females better, but I've always just kind of had this reverence for her, and like, you know, being like your mom, you know, I mean, she like took on, I mean, if you believe it, she took on this whole situation that was not super fun for her time, and everyone was like, wow, this girl is a slut because she's pregnant, you know, and she is not married to Joseph yet. And she's like, no, really, the Holy Spirit gave me this baby. And so it was hard to believe, you know, people were just like dogging on her, but like obviously something was right about the situation, or we wouldn't still be talking about it 2,000 years later. And I feel like her heart just bleeds for other people. And at the end of the day, like, my heart bleeds for other people. Like, I love to run my dad's Facebook account because he's friends with all these old women. And these old women post the most interesting things and like videos of like, going to the, like, there's an overweight lady who posts videos like in the morning, motivation videos to like go to the gym, And some days they're like, yeah, great day, we're gonna have an awesome day, like let's go, you know. And then the next day is like very like, I couldn't get out of bed this morning. It was horrible. I don't want to go, but I'm in the car anyway. It sucks, you know. And I cried the whole time through the exercise. But you know, some days are just harder than others, and you push through. And it's just like I'm there with you. You know what I mean? Like my heart is bleeding with you. Like I love you. I support you. Go for it. Like I'm so proud of you for like sticking to it and doing whatever.
Sure.
So I really just love people who do them, who stay motivated. And one of the things I always say is never bad days, only bad moments. And it just kind of like nothing is going to affect the rest of my day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this may be a shitty moment, and it might be the shittiest moment. You know, this is a bad moment. But like the next moment, there's still oxygen going into my lungs. The sky's still blue. You know, my hair's still really nice. So when that changes, that might change. No, just kidding. But really, like never bad days, only bad moments. You know, it's just like don't let yourself get in that negative habit. You know,
Exactly.
And if someone, you know, I just feel like there's always a chance to make yourself better and make yourself work harder in every situation, and just like look at it from a very like, this is here to test me and to make me better.
Sure.
You know, so how would I respond to it where I would be proud of the way I respond to this moment and not like let it kind of just get up all in your head, which I do, you know. I mean, I have my moments where it's like I just can't take it anymore and I freak out and I'm just such a bitch to everyone and just like a dick, you know. And then 3 seconds later I'm like, oh, I should not have been that way, you know. Like nothing is that big of a deal. Like just so that was kind of long-winded, but
no, make it
I think
as
that
long
gets
as
like all
possible.
the points, yeah.
And so, I mean, have you always been Catholic?
Yeah.
How did there's a point in, I mean, especially whenever you're like going from like teenager into adulthood, whenever it's like you kind of go, am I going to stick with this? Or so like how did that happen with you?
So basically, I don't think I would have stayed so committed if I didn't. I was in charge of the choir at St. John's in Edmond, where I went to church, and so it was for 9.5 years. It was like me, basically. Four main years where it was just me. You know, that was like in charge, and sometimes I was the only one there, and you know, it was just like that kind of kept me going because I had to be somewhere every week at 4. You know what I mean? Like I had to go. Because if I wasn't there, no one was going to be singing. You know?
Exactly.
So that pushed me to go and kept me going through the ins and outs and like the disbelief and like the, you know. And I still have my moments where I'm like, I just don't think 7 different demons were taken out of this one person. You know, like maybe the story was embellished a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the Bible was written way after. You know, I did. So there are things where I'm like, a lot of it's symbolic, and you kind of have to put it in your head that it's symbolic and it's like not just. And once I kind of came to that realization too, I feel like that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Is where it's like none of it, like they're not speaking in like literally this happened this day. Like the Bible was not written like that. You know, it's not in a diary of someone's life that was written in real time. Like most of the time these stories were written a few years after the events. So everyone's memory changes a little bit, you know? And so that kind of, and I don't know how, like, official church teaching that is, what I just said. But, you know, in my mind, it's like...
you.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so anyway, so I was at St. John's for a long time, and then that, they just kind of got sick of me leading the youth choir, and it became a situation where I retired and just, like, left St. John's and kind of had some bad blood with a lot of the people there. And not really on my fault at all, really. Like, not to still be salty about it, but, you know, I mean, it was just like one of those things that was like a shitty time where I felt like everything I worked for so long and everything I believed in, and like I was there when no one else was, and then a lot of people just kind of wanted me out because they felt like they had no room to grow in the youth choir while I was there, which I get. I think a lot of it was, yes, that I was like singing everything all the time, and then like the other hand, it was like no one else was there to do it. So it was like, you know, and people didn't see that side, and I understand. And I'm, you know, old. It's the youth choir. I had graduated college at that point, so I was like ready to move on to something else. And then I found Corpus Christi down here, and it's a predominantly African American Catholic church on 16th and Kelly. And I just like fell in love, and they were just so happy, and it was just so much about joy instead of so much about, well, so-and-so did this and this, and so-and-so isn't being a good, and I'm sitting in the front row. It was just, it was just such a different, like, we're only here because we're trying to better our lives, and we're trying to get some kind of message for positivity, and we're, like, here to love each other. And it was just, like, everyone hugs, and, it's just such a different environment. And so I started singing with that choir, that youth choir, or the gospel choir there. And I have been there, like, ever since. So, like, a year almost.
Yeah. How is it what is it that you look for in, like, a positive church environment rather than, what makes you want to leave church?
Like, the judgment, I feel like, and the politics of churches. Like, once you get involved and see, and you're kind of on the other side of it, and you're not just a parishioner or an attendee or something. Yeah. And you see it's all about, it's no different than anywhere else, you know what I mean? I mean, it's these people in a job that's, like, tax-free, and they have a lot of money that is just flowing in. And, I mean, we had issues at St. John's. The deacon stole $110,000. And, and a deacon had an affair with one of the big-time parishioners' wives and caused this huge thing. And, you have all of these just, like, and people weren't owning up for their mistakes, and people just thought that they were, like, too big to fail. And it was just... It was getting away. Is this even
a church?
Yeah, it was just getting away from, like, at the end of the day, like, the only reason people have something to cling on to, like, religion, is for this source of positivity and this source of calm and this source of, like, it's not just in my hands, and, there's someone else there to kind of pick you up when you fall. And that was just not the message that I was getting at that time, and I needed something else, and that was making me run. And I feel like a lot of it, too, is the priests, I mean, some priests are really, really good at homilies and connecting the readings to whatever and giving their sermons. And some people are just not. And when they're not, it makes it really hard, because that's really the point where you take everything that happened 2,000 years ago and how do you apply it to your life today, And when that's not there, why are we even listening to this? I mean, this is 10 minutes we don't need to have. Like, we could get out 10 minutes earlier at this point. So, find it, it sounds like it needs to be the perfect situation for me to, like, but really it's just, like, bare bones. Like, get down to it. Like, Jesus loved everyone at the end of the day. Jesus did not say shit about anyone. He was like, okay, like, I don't want to hang out with you annoying church folk. I want to hang out with the sinners and the prostitutes and the real people of the world, and, like,
because these are the people that need me.
Exactly. So I don't know. So that's kind of a lot of it.
Yeah. And so how does that contrast to what you have now with, why is there less judgment?
I think it's mainly because it's just a totally different environment. Like, my church at St. John's was very suburban and just very, like, all of the typical things you could say about suburbs. Like, that's what, you had at St. John's, which is fine, but I feel like at some point you just kind of have this bitchier attitude in general, And not that everyone knew it, but, like, we would go on church trips with other churches, and they just kind of knew things about St. John's people that we were just not maybe the nicest.
Sure.
Which sounds horrible. And I don't mean it in, like, a bad way, but it's maybe just that, like, we let a lot of other things influence our attitudes toward it. And I feel like at Corpus Christi, they're just going to church because they want to go to church. No, they're not doing it because they have to, and they're, like, so bored, and they're looking at all the things that are going wrong. I mean, and appreciation is a lot of it too, because we clap so much during church, like, for, like, once the priest is done, like, we clap, and we're like, yeah, good job, and you don't have that affirmation at other churches, and you don't have that, and people just, even connecting with it and saying amen and saying, you know, whatever while it's kind of going along. Like, I like that. I like to kind of see that people are engaged and this joy that people are genuinely there for a reason, and they're not just there because they want to see what other people are wearing. They want to, you know, it's social hour.
Or even just because, well, the book says I have to be here, so I'm going to be here.
Yeah. And I feel like I got that feeling from a lot of the people who were in charge at St. John's, that they were just going through the motions because that's what their job is and that's what they needed to do. And at Corpus Christi, I just feel like no one's there for any other reason than they want to be there. You know, like, it's just they truly, like, and not that they, you know, some days they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, everyone has those days. It's more just a general attitude, I feel like, that I feel. And even like my mom said, I mean, when she went for the first time, she was like, this is so cool. Like, it's so you. It's so happy. It's so, like, you know, so different. And such a good change. So,
how do you connect your faith to the rest of your life? How, like, you know, you're a performer. But, like, is it just on Sundays or what?
Right. No, so that's funny because one time this girl who was Catholic was like, oh, Chase is Catholic? Like, I had no idea. And I've always wondered, like, what kind of Catholic he is. Because I see him in church on Sundays, and then I see him at parties Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm like, in most Sunday nights. But I feel like it's... like, I have a very strong religion personally. You know what I mean? Like, I am super not about being one of those people who is like, I'll pray for you. You know? Like, I don't bring it out during the day. Like, I have a very strong conviction, and I respect the fact that you probably do too. And I don't need to talk about my conviction unless it comes up in conversation. Like, I don't need to be like, so I want you to come to this Bible study with me, and I want you to see how Jesus can improve your life, you know? And I got, like, so much of that. I feel like being in the Bible Belt, obviously, you have these people who kind of want to bridge you or, like, do this thing where they're like, where are you on this bridge? Are you with Jesus? Are you in hell? And everyone's like, well, I'm in the middle, you know? And they're like, there is no middle. It's either one or the other. And I don't believe that. You know what I mean? Like, I believe atheists, everyone, Buddhists, Hindus, like, we're all working towards the same common good and, like, love. And so I feel like that's where it connects with my life. Like, I may not live by the book. I may sin, you know, a lot more than the average, maybe, like, devout Catholic or whatever. But I think I think I have a very, like, I have a respect, you know, I'm not going to do something that's disgraceful or that I feel uncomfortable with, you know, like, one time we were doing a show and someone was like, hey, does anyone have a rosary I can wear around my neck? And I was like, listen, I'm cool with most things, but rosaries are not necklaces. You know, they have a totally different purpose. So I'd really respect if you didn't, you know, do that. And it was fine, but it's, I don't know, it's like things like that where I have a very high respect for it, but, like, I realize that today in this world, like, I'm going to fall short and I'm going to, you know, mess up. But I don't judge other people, and I'm not taking other people down for it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's part of it, too. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I just talked in a circle or not.
No, you're fine.
But, you know what I mean? I feel like, yes, I maybe not act so Catholic by the book. Like, everything I do is, you know, perfect and not sinful, because I do sin and I, you know, whatever. And I enjoy sinning. Like, I'm sorry, I just do. And I think God understands, you know? I don't think God is sitting there being like, he smoked weed today, he drank alcohol today, you know? Like, he, you know, bad kid, out of heaven. He has bigger fish to fry, you know? People are dying. People are being attacked. There's evil in the world that he's trying to work against. So it's not my evil.
And then how do you think that your faith will or would take part in your performance?
Yeah. I am insanely inspired by the Catholic Church in general, like the imagery that we have and the like tradition in general, and just like and the music. I mean, you know, so much, like, and there's all different kinds, and I mean now obviously more contemporary and like rocky, but I like love the old-timey hymns and like the boys choirs, and I feel like it would be so dope to have like a live album recorded inside a cathedral and have like elements of like a choir, like the live choir and those sounds. So bringing the sounds and the kind of like the drama and the you know, just like that's music is really how I connect with my faith in general. Like I'm not one of those to sit there and read the Bible. I'm not one of those to sit there and pray. Like I sing and I like connect with the music and stuff like that. So I feel like bringing those kind of, you know, imageries, and then I love just like little sayings that we have. Like I can imagine like putting them in songs or like putting them in whatever, and you know, finding ways to integrate that. And
then I think what other usual questions do I ask? So then, what is the human person like? What is the value of the human person to you?
Like everything is about people for me, you know. I'm an extrovert, so I would just be very like lost, I feel like, without other people. And I just value, like, I may not like you, I may hate your guts, but I really value the fact that you exist, you know what I mean? And I love humans, and I think inherently everyone is created like to be themselves, you know, and just with this like awesome like power of being you. And I like love people who like bring it out and show the world, and I understand people who don't, you know. And but I just really I have a lot like I love humans, like I have a lot of respect for humans. Like I hate like refugees, like my heart pours out for them, and we're in a place where a lot of people are like, fuck the refugees, and you know, fuck the immigrants, and fuck everyone. And I'm like, at the end of the day, like, we are all people, we're all here for the same, you know, like love and light, let everyone live kind of a thing.
And then what was another? Well, another one that I normally ask is free will, but I think that one is sort of tied immediately, directly to your faith. Right. So then, do you want other people to be Catholic?
Yes, but not in the way that I'm like tracking people down, you know. And I like my family. It's important for my family to be and to stay. Like my sister's marrying a non-Catholic, which is totally fine. But I would really prefer that her children get baptized in the church, and you know, kind of raised. I feel like a lot, if in general, like being raised with something like that to some higher power to look at, some positive influence, I feel like it has just a lot of impact on your development in general, you know. So in that respect, yes, but like, no, I mean, if you are convicted in your own thing, if you're interested, I'll tell you all about it. You know what I mean? I'll take you to Mass, I'll walk you through it, like the whole thing, but I'm not going to force anyone to do it, you know, and because I hate that, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sit there and like let other people, you know. But I loved like teaching religious education to middle schoolers. I did that all through high school, and I was in charge of the youth group at St. John's as well. So I was like really in it, and like I loved to see like fostering a more practical version of the church in people, because I feel like a lot of people kind of have this whole like it's all about rules and it's about following the rules, and if you don't, you know, kind of fit in, then you're like nothing. And I just don't think it's about that at all. You know, I feel it's a very different situation. So I feel like getting people the right message of the Catholic Church would be probably what I more like than convincing people to convert. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Do you fear hell?
You know, I probably should, but I just don't. Which sounds bad, but I really I'm a firm believer in purgatory in general. Like, I just don't think it is feasible for there to either be like, oh, you were good or you were bad. Like, I just don't think that, you know. I feel like everyone is inherently good. Everyone has made decisions that make them bad. You know, and I feel like at the end of the day, no one can tell me where I'm going to end up, because the only one who's going to know is God and like my soul, if we even still are cognizant at that point, which I don't, I feel like that's a whole nother like afterlife situation discussion, and I have no idea about that, to be honest, and I don't really think about it very often.
Yeah.
But I just believe like everyone's going to mess up, and everyone should, gets into heaven. They may, have to wait in purgatory for a minute, or like, purge their sins a little bit, and just kind of like, yeah, you're right, I shouldn't have, done this and this and this, and I'll chill out here for another however long, and then go to heaven.
Whatever the hell time means.
Yeah, right, like whatever that is all about. But or that there's not a purgatory and that everyone just goes to heaven.
Cool.
Except really bad people. And then God deals with them. So.
Yeah. Okay, we can plug things.
Oh.
Yeah. So what wait. Before my plugging things.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people?
Probably like to take some time and find out who you are, and if that means like not hanging out with your friends every single minute of the day and not being distracted by everything, and really just trying to figure out who you are, what you want, what you respond to things like, and then just go do it, and like kind of just figure out a way. And in my life, like in the perfect world, I wouldn't be a realtor. I would be just doing this all the time.
Yeah.
But for me to do this, like I need that other side
exactly.
to kind of, pay the bills or whatever. And so figuring out where that separation is too, and like real estate, like that's not really what I want to do, so I'm going to spend so much time on it. No,
exactly.
I'll spend the appropriate amount of time. But I really want to focus on this over here. So finding that, and like finding that balance, and like finding who you are and just doing you, and
sure.
like being just unabashed. Like don't care what other people are going to think. Like it's going to be hard. But people are going to stare at you, make it worth their while, Gary Winston said that, and I like believe in it 100%. And just like it's going to be hard, and like people are going to tell you you're crazy, and your parents are going to say like you're an idiot, but come around. They'll come around or they won't, and they'll have to appreciate the fact that they made you the way you are, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of
awesome.
Be you. Do
okay.
you.
So we got Twitter, Instagram, website.
Yes,
okay.
Twitter, Instagram. I love Instagram. Chase R the Prince, or Chaser the Prince. And then my website is chasertheprince.com, and it'll be come back hot. It's been on a little hiatus for a little while, but there's some fun stuff about the VMAs on there, and I'll be working to get some videos uploaded on there soon, so that's exciting. And then my Snapchat is Chaser the. It stops at that. It's just Chaser the. I'm trying to think of anything else I have to.
Yeah.
Any other social media outlets. SoundCloud, I'm Chaser the Prince on there as well. And we put out, my dad's office puts out a Christmas album every year, so we'll be recording that in a couple weeks, and then it'll be up on my SoundCloud and
that's awesome.
And out, so that'll be kind of fun, yeah.
And then I'm Santiago Ramones. You can find all my stuff on SantiagoRamones.com. I don't have like a stage name or whatever. This is me.
That is you. That is your name.
Yeah. I make music. That's also on SoundCloud, but you can reach that from my website. So just go to SantiagoRamones.com. You can listen to the rest of these podcasts, which are on iTunes and Stitcher or YouTube. But everything is on my website. That's the point of having a thing with your name and the .com after it. And so I end every podcast with my 3 things, because that's my advice to give people, which is love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong. Thanks for listening. Bye. Yay.